let me know what OST you'd like for me to play in the next video. I guess if it works like, whoever comments, and if that comment gets like the most likes, we'll play that OST in the next video, so feel free to comment that down below. And of course, thank you for all love and support on the channel. Let's move into what many of you already know. All right, when they announce EZAs, we like to go ahead and do a little bit of a prayer, a little bit of a please. Essentially, we don't want Dokkan to fumble these EZAs, especially EZAs that many of us, including me, have been looking forward to for a very long time. And today, that is going to be the physical LR androids there. EZA was announced last night with the whole data download and all that great stuff. And this is an LR I've been wanting to get an EZA for quite some time. And I think that their base kit actually has some potential. So I'm going to share with you the changes that I made. I'd love for you to let me know what you think. And of course, feel free to rate it out of 10. What would you change? What would you add? What would you do differently? And again, thank you for being here. I appreciate all your love and support. Let's move on to, or let's just get into the video. So this is their base kit here. I mean, I didn't really show you what I'm going to change here just yet. I'm just going to explain one weakness though with this character. I mean, quite a few weaknesses, right? The first one is, of course, no defensive raising on either. I mean, offensive raising is of course great for a character like this, but we definitely want defensive raising at minimum when it comes to the 12 or and 18 key super attack. Of course, this day and age, 78% to stats at the start of turn is just, it's not it. Medium chance of evading is not really that great either. And the restriction is with HP, when HP is or above 66%. One weakness this character has is that there's nothing this character gets if you're below 66% HP. And obviously, if you're in an event, and I think Dokkan devs would realize this, if you are in an event where your HP happens to fall below 66%, I think that means that your character or your team needs a little bit of help. So we definitely went ahead and did something to help that side of this character. And then of course, just slightly strengthened the support here. And then of course, when it comes to this character, I feel like, remember, this Android 16 only comes out for 3 turns. So this character, in my opinion, shouldn't really have, a high chance of this or anything like that. This character should be, if they're only going to exist for 3 turns, I feel like it should be a lot better, right? No restriction, just full blown do this and do that. Something I also want to see here. Okay, perfect. Let's move into my concept here. So I didn't really change the leader skill stuff. I mean, I don't really care about that too much. But for the 12 key, I did greatly raise his defense for 1 turn. And then 18 key greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn. And then, of course, greatly lowering both attack and defense on 12 and 18 key. And the 12 key, I didn't really add attack there, but defense, like I mentioned, is just more important. So we went ahead and gave defense for both 12 and 18, but attack primarily on the 18 key. This is what their new kit looks like. So 2 key and 178% to stats. So just a flat out extra key there and 100% boost to their start of turn attack and defense. And then I gave them 17% damage reduction baseline. So obviously not the craziest. This character does not have any guard or anything like that in this base kit. So I felt like 17% damage reduction, for a 17 and 18 character, I feel like it should have been fine, right? And then I boosted the medium chance of evading to a high chance of evading when HP is 78% or more. I only did 78%. I changed the 66 to 78% for 2 reasons. One, I just think 78 looks cleaner because, you have the 78% there. So I kind of like that, I have a little OCD in that area. But also 78% HP is, a good number to be above, but it's also really easy to fall below that. It's easier to fall below 78% HP than it is to fall below 66, right? If that makes sense, because you have that window of 12% HP. So if you ever fall below 78%, or if you're at 66% HP and you're lower than 78, then you get this right here, plus an additional 18% damage reduction and a great chance of evading any attack, including super, when HP is 77% or less. So I wanted it to be, you have some damage reduction baseline, you have your high chance of evading if your HP is 78% or above. But if you fall below that, then you get an extra 18% damage reduction slapped onto the 17. So essentially 35% damage reduction, and your chance of evading goes up to a great chance. So when you're at 77% HP or less, you have a great chance to dodge, 178% to stats, and 35% to damage reduction. And then you also are greatly raising your defense here. So on both 12 or 18 keys. So defensively, this character is not bad, right? Key +1 up to 3, and attack +17%, and defense +18% up to 50 within the same turn with each attack evaded. Now, 50% is essentially the same as the key here, in the sense that you need to dodge essentially 3 attacks per turn to build this up. It's the same thing with here, right? Because 17 times 3 is 51. Yeah, 51. So essentially you dodge 3 times, you're going to be able to max this out for both attack and defense up to 50%. But of course, it resets every turn. So if this character has to be, or let's say they're locked in that first slot, and you are allowed to dodge the enemy, if they can dodge 3 attacks, then they're going to get an extra key boost, right, which can allow them to greatly raise their attack, but also an extra 50% to defense as well. And then Android category allies 2 key and 40% to stats. What was it before? It was 2 key and 40% to just to attack, but now it's 2 key and 40% to attack and defense. So in total, this character can get an extra key there. It's 2, that's 4, because they're going to be supporting regardless. And they can build up to a total of 7 key within the same turn. So that is... Oh, and also I did change this here. Exchange with Android 16 for 3 turns can be activated when HP 78% or less, not 66% or less. So this will definitely be easier to see. Because if you hop into a turn, right, where you have 70% HP, if this was the kit, you're not going to be able to activate that, right? But if this was, you know, the number, then you'll be able to immediately hop over to Android 16, and this is what he looks like. So I gave him greatly raises defense for 1 turn, same thing, right? And massively lowering attack and defense. And then his ultra super attack, I just changed it to massively raises attack. I didn't really add any defense to that because his base kit seemed like he was just tailored more for that offensive boost and that 18 key while sacrificing some HP. So I wanted to just keep that theme alive, but instead of greatly, it's massively raising attack. So this character is definitely going to be hitting some nice juicy numbers. But again, it's like this character's only around for 3 turns per fight, so you don't really want to hold back too much, right? He gets 7 key and 200% to stats, so just like, you know, what he was before. And I'll tell you this now, right? Like, I feel like 200% to stats is great, right? The 78% is not. So I felt the need to really bump this up, but keeping this the same, I think was definitely, it's fair. Like increasing, when you do 250 or like 230 or 240, and then give him like, you know, massively raising attack, and so I just feel like it becomes a little bit too much. But here we go, 200% to stats, 7 key. He guards all attacks for 1 turn after first appearance. He's only around for 3 turns. So essentially, if you, let's say you switch to Android 16, right? He'll guard for that first turn, and then the next time he comes back will be his 3rd turn, right? Which means he'll be guarding for 1 turn and then not guarding for another turn. And then when he returns for the next time, you'll essentially switch back to 17 and 18, right? So guards all attacks for the first turn, for 1 turn after first appearance. Guaranteed performs a critical hit, reduces damage received by 40%, and launches an additional super attack when there are 2 Android category allies attacking in the same turn. So you have to essentially activate this, or essentially when Android 16 pops out, as long as you have 2 or more Android category allies attacking in the same turn, not the team, but the turn, because remember, to have 16 come out, it's the team. Or for him to activate this part of his passive, it's the turn. So if you can get that done, I didn't mean to click that. And now that I clicked that, the entire thing I just built reset, because obviously I just changed it within little code there. But I can tell you, 7 key, 200% of stats. He had a guaranteed crit. And, what's it called? Guaranteed crit, guard for 1 turn after first appearance. Sorry, I kind of messed that up there. And then he had a guaranteed additional super attack and 40% damage reduction. Again, like I mentioned, as long as you have 2 or more on the same turn. And then the last part of that passive was the exact same. Another additional super attack if there is an android or slash cell saga category enemy. So he can perform, if you're facing an enemy, up to 4 super attacks in a turn, right? His original one, this one here, the other one, if you have 2 or more android category allies attacking in the same turn, and then of course his hidden potential one, which means he's greatly raising defense, 4 times, with 40% damage reduction, with 200% HP. He's definitely going to be okay, right? But yeah, let me know what you think about that concept. I think it's not OP. I think that Android 16 deserves to be extremely strong since it's only around for 3 turns. But the base kit, once you return to 17 and 18, I feel like they're still going to be good enough. 35% damage reduction, greatly raising defense, supporting. I think they're still going to be a really great unit. So let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.